Hello Pisces, and welcome to your monthly forecast. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh, and we're going to be taking a look at the month of August. You can use this for Sun, Rising, Moon, and Venus, and you can either watch it before the month, in the middle of the month, or at the end. It really doesn't matter. The messages will be here when you need them. I'm just glad that you're here. I like to begin my readings with channeled messages. And channeled messages for me are just one more method that I can connect with spirit. Typically they come through dreams and meditations, and just like the pictures on the cards, they guide us through the month ahead. So there were two main messages coming through, and they had to do with basically your time and energy management, and then also self-care. In particular, I was shown an image of someone juggling way too many things, and for a while they were able to keep them in the air, but eventually it was getting too much to manage, basically. So there are tools at your disposal that are coming through to basically help you. One is simply to say the word no. If there's something that you don't want or that you can't do or just are disinterested in, push back on that. Be realistic with your time and energy. If someone asks for, again, more than you can give, just simply say something else has to come off the schedule. So delegation will also be a tool. So no, or no thank you, or only this if we let go of this, or I need you to help me with this. Using those tools will keep you happy and avoid burnout for you as well. Choose whatever you want that is the best match for you when deciding on activities or options, trajectories and paths. It has to make sense for you, not trying to people please. That's one of the messages that's also coming through here. And ultimately, maybe just establishing a better work-life balance. This Two of Pentacles I chose for a reason. First of all, they're juggling a couple of things. You don't have to juggle 3 or 4 or 5 to feel overwhelmed. Sometimes there's just 2 things tugging at you, and you have to say, I choose this, and we're going to pause on this. So that simple act of delegation can save you. And then you have an ace, basically, that you can put a lot of momentum behind, okay? So I feel like you've got it this month, but you just have to make sure that you're trusting your heart, you're paying attention to your body, you're not pulling yourself in too many directions. Decide, delegate, and then you're going to thrive. The next card has to do with another key piece to success, which is rest. When you are well rested, you are more alert, you're more creative, you're more able to land on your feet, you're basically set up for success and creativity. I also like to compare things to, gardening and the flowers that I have here. Sometimes you can outgrow something in your life and you need room to sort of like spread those roots out. So space creates growth. So like a plant in a pot, you might need room in your life, room in your schedule, room in your head, just to kind of think about things. If every single moment of your life is planned, scheduled, and booked, you don't have time to basically meditate, integrate, just rest. So I'm giving you encouragement. You don't need permission from me, but I'm giving you encouragement to sometimes do nothing, sometimes to meditate, sometimes just to sleep in, or just have fun. What happens is when you let go, when you stop focusing on having to be perfect or working or developing or expanding, it happens naturally. Please make sure that you're taking care of yourself and getting ample sleep. The sleep that you're getting is well rested. If there's something that's impeding that, whether it's having difficulty breathing or going to sleep or staying asleep, obviously work with a doctor there, because I can't underline enough the importance of rest. The final bullet is really important. Journaling is a key way to developing your intuitive gift. A lot of songwriters get all of their great song ideas from those journals because it captures a moment in time, and days, weeks, or years later you can look back and you're like, oh my gosh, now I can see how it all comes together. Meditation, playing, all of these things are going to help you out this month and probably will help your sleep as well. Okay, so those are the messages that came through in dreams. And again, the Four of Swords is all about resting and letting things go. So hopefully I can help you do that as we take a look at all the cards here. I'm going to go ahead now and give everything a good shuffle. It's good to see all of you, by the way. I hope you're doing well. I'm so happy again that you chose to be with me today. So let me just focus on the shuffle here and we'll go from there. Very interesting that we got a juggling image there in the environment too. I'm just seeing that. And we have self-care here. Also some protection with the shield maiden. Lots of nice synchronicities. Okay, let me just zoom in. Since we've got a smaller deck, we can actually get a little bit more in focus. Okay, let's begin here with the catalyst, and it is the shadow. The shadow card in reverse would actually be the antithesis of that, which is light or enlightenment or knowledge or letting go of things that in the past might have made you feel a little bit afraid or uncertain. So it's basically discernment and illumination, very much in connection to and in alignment to how you showed up, which was the star. The star did come through in the reverse state, so there's a constant encouragement this month to basically step into your power and step into your light. So as we take a look at all of the cards in front of us today, I'll periodically look back at this and see if there's opportunities to heal, release, or alchemically kind of remove the shadow that might be over some of these cards here. Let's get started here with your centermost card. We have the Knight of Swords in the reversed state, and basically this is saying slow it down a little bit. In the upright position, this would be about quick forward momentum, speedy communication, basically things almost moving so fast that you're having a hard time taking it all in. So when we reflect upon the channeled messages, this really sits easily with that, and it makes a lot of sense. And then crossing that, we have a card that's almost like an exclamation point, like slow down, exclamation point, and emphasizing that is the Hanged Man. So in the history of the card, basically, we can go back to Odin, who waited to learn the sort of secrets of the runes. He had to hang out for a while to allow for that to happen. So one way you can think about this, and it's really easy to wrap your head around it, is for those of you that travel a lot, I wouldn't be surprised if you have a list. Because invariably, if you don't look at that list, you forget something, whether it's your toothpaste or deodorant or cologne or important things like an extra pair of underwear or socks or whatever. You need that list so that you don't forget the essential items. So kind of taking that pre-flight list in your own life, think about, have I done everything that I set out to do? Is there anything that I really need to pay attention to? And am I covering the essentials in my life? Then this also represents the need to meditate and just soak it all in, because as you allow for just time and space, you may remember, oh, wait a second, wasn't I supposed to call my friend? Wasn't I supposed to sign that document? Did I actually forget this? So sometimes the best ideas can come when walking the dog, making breakfast, taking a bath, whatever it is that you're doing that's quote unquote mundane. It's because your mind got a moment to shut off and your intuition gets a chance to take over. So that's really what these two cards are saying. Now let's take a look karmically and in the deep past at what you want to focus on in this month. We have a beautiful energy here with a Knight of Cups. So this is saying stop talking for a second, listen to yourself, listen to the signs, and allow your heart now to possibly steer the ship, because that's basically what the Knight of Cups is doing, following his heart. When you do that, you may be pleasantly surprised at what opportunities come knocking. Also, how people are connecting to you, because your passion, your creativity, your enthusiasm is like a lighthouse out on the shore beckoning them in. This is a time where you might want to focus a little bit more on the core relationships in your life. So if you've been sacrificing having that sort of connection with friends, family, possibly even allowing for development in your love life, this is a chance to really prioritize all of that. For the rest of you, this could represent increased creativity and sensitivity. And this could be a little bit connected with the shadow energy. So for some of you, making sure that you don't sort of like jump to a conclusion solely based on an emotional response. That could be one thing here as well. With any of the court cards here with cups, basically, I like that we see him steering the ship, in this case, kind of like the dolphin, but you understand, typically it would be something more traditional like a horse. So it's basically making sure that you're both in alignment. And in a relationship, it's the same thing. Otherwise, you're going to be pulling one another in two directions, and it's not going to be as effective. So connect on a heart level, make sure that you're both in sort of a synchronous energy, and that's going to be important, or synchronized energy, and that's going to be important. All right, now let's look at more recently what's been going on, and this could either challenge or help you. So the Six of Pentacles is really good. I might pull the traditional card here in just a moment, but let's look at this one. So if it were upright, we would see her actually starting to receive things. There are two different energies in the Six of Pentacles. There are those who are kind of doling out the resources, and there are those that are receiving. You may find yourself in this position where you have resources to lend out. And basically, if you're in that position, what you want to do is really think to yourself, is it worth it? And also make sure that you're leaving enough energy for yourself. If you're in the position of asking, make sure that you respect the person and their time and their energy, that you're not too demanding, that you're enthusiastic enough, and that you present a good case. One last thing that I'd like to mention with the Six of Pentacles is the ability to get what you want if you're flexible with how much and how soon. For those that are project managers, you know what I'm talking about. This is phasing something out in multiple releases. So in your life, that means that you may put more of your energy behind maybe education or personal development or health or family, and you're going to put something else to next month. You're going to push it off. So if you stretch things out on a timeline, they're not as much of a burden to you because you're not trying to do it all at once. Not only that, you're going to be able to do things more successfully because you can put your focus, your other resource, which is time and energy, behind it. It's not just all about money. So prioritization, flexibility on when and how much, that's going to be a key to success as well. Basically, if you are able to look at the big picture, you can usually accomplish a lot with the Six of Pentacles. It's the core card that I look for being able to have the balance, the success, and the happiness that you need. And that's the last thing here. We're looking at balance again. I featured the Two of Pentacles, which is showing this kind of balance, but this is also weighing things out on a heart level, on an intellectual level, and again, on a resource level. In your crowning position here, we have the Magician, such a positive card to come through here, which is saying, you know, the sky's the limit. If you believe in yourself, this is basically saying believing is seeing. And so let me talk about that. If you can intuitively sort of see how this will happen, you can actually create it. So believing here, other people will be able to see it. You're going to be able to see it through to fruition as well. This Magician marches to the beat of their own drum, and I like that. We're looking at the stars as well, so mapping things out, also important. Why did the Magician come in reverse, you might be asking me? Because it's time to focus, and you don't need to show everything to everyone. So the Magician has all those different tools, you know, an Ace of Cups and Wands, Pentacles, and Swords in front of them, but they don't have to use each and every tool at their sort of altar. All they have to do is use what's necessary. And there may be people in your life that want to see everything. And this is also a test of faith. And we were talking about believing is seeing. If people don't believe in you, if they need everything to be proven, that could be exhausting over time. And if we take these two cards together, you're really deciding how much time and energy do I want to spend in having to show everything to everyone. So this could just be a test of faith in certain relationships, particularly work relationships. People, if they don't believe you, it could just be something that in the long term doesn't make a lot of sense, okay? And this is a nice segue into this card, which is power and control and development, and it's quite nice, actually. So it's in the upright position. You have a few reversals, but not this card. And this is basically saying you're being set up for success this month. So you have a chance to nurture things, birth things, create things, and manifest things, especially since these two cards are back to back. So it's a chance to really get a lot done. And people may not be used to seeing this part of you, this side of you, but that's okay. There are times in our life where we just can't help but take the reins and sort of say, this is what I stand for, this is what I believe in. And if you can do that this month, you can really create some movement and change. Some of you may be new mothers. Some of you may just be in the final phases of creating or releasing something. No matter what this card indicates for you, it is a beacon of success. And when we look at it again, I can either look at these three or kind of these three. It's a very positive trajectory because this is present, near future, and outcome, and they're all leading in the right direction, and I want the Empress steering the ship. This is past, present, future. We're just seeing things moving in a really good trajectory. You're getting more resources here in the outcome. We're finding balance, and we're seeing power, and we're seeing you being willing to wait for the right thing. That's also what we can connect here with the Hanged Man and the Empress. Not feeling like you have to rush, and that's so important, okay? As we look at what represents you this month, it is the Star, and what a beautiful card that is. If we look at it in the upright position, it's basically the universe saying, from the perspective of, again, source energy, it's time to ascend, it's time to step up, to step out, to be seen. But the question when the card is reversed is, do you believe it? Are you ready? And if not, looking at the past here, what is it that could possibly be causing you to disbelieve it? If we look at the cards here, I think for some of you, it could just be emotions, fear or anxiety. For some of you, it could be a question of, can I handle it? And if that's the case, juggling your resources around a little bit can help you. And for the rest of you, it's just focusing and believing in yourself. Once you get to that state or sense of believing yourself, then truly the sky is the limit. I like that we have a mermaid on this as well. She's comfortable on a couple of different elements. She can exist above water, on land, and also in the water. But the main energy is that of water, which is really good for you, Pisces. This is a chance to be flexible, to show just how far you can go, that you can go the distance. And a mermaid is very comfortable with not being normal. So I'm going to say that a singular or unusual or sort of splashy approach is going to help. You're not meant to blend in. You're not meant to be a wallflower this month. So be the star that you are, Pisces, and really show people what you've got. And that's going to be your power. That's what's going to make you stand out, feel better, and really make a splash. And that might be the title this month for you. I really think it's time to make a splash. And, I'm wondering in the past, it could be a parental figure or a boss. It could even just be your own sort of question of faith here, because this is emotion, this is can I do it, and this is also like having to see it to believe it. And this month, I'm just really going to encourage you to believe it and then just see how quickly you can manifest what you're believing. Because in the environment, folks, we have a wonderful card. So it's the Three of Wands, and lo and behold, they're juggling. Yes, the card is reversed, but I actually read this as positive no matter what. In the upright position, you usually see something coming through and it's pretty clear. Reversed, it can mean that things happen like that. Things are manifesting in real time, and if you hesitate, you may miss it, or you may have to sort of play catch up really quickly. So do me a favor this month and look in all directions. That's why you're being asked to slow down. You may be able to uncover something in your research or in just your presence of mind and being that someone else would miss. And you may be able to get to the finish line faster because you changed directions, because you slowed down. And meanwhile, someone else may have to backtrack and fix something. It's not a race, folks, but you still may end up, sort of at the finish line faster. And it's because you're following your inner compass, and that's not going to lead you astray. Three of Wands, asking you to also focus on what matters the most. It's kind of interesting in juggling that there's a couple things in the air and they're usually only touching one thing at a time. And when you really focus on the main thing, it's an ace in this particular card. So follow the passion, and that's going to lead you to the next big thing. Three of Wands, again, can indicate also travel being beneficial to you. So normally we'd see ships coming in on the shore. I always like to remind folks to meet someone halfway. And again, with the Three of Wands, it depends on the direction that you're looking at, because if you're not focusing on what's in front of you, you may miss something. So stay aware, stay present, look in all directions. And again, opportunities could be knocking where you least expect them to be. Following this is another beautiful card. Hopes, Fears, and Opportunities. We have the Three of Pentacles. Although the card came through reversed, it's still very positive. Let's take a moment and look at the traditional one for just a moment. In the Three of Pentacles, you will see a couple of key things. First of all, someone's building something that they care about. So this is a time now more than ever to really focus on doing things right and doing it right the first time. It's a card of recognition. We can see two people paying attention to the work being done there and giving accolades. It's a card of graduation. So for those of you that may be attending some sort of a training session or school, etc., this can be receiving that final degree or that final gold star. And at the end of the day, it's like you have the Midas touch, which I think is really cool. As we look at this modern interpretation, we see that person spray painting. For me, this is actually connecting you back to the star energy, which was all about putting your sort of unique flair onto something and not feeling like you have to fit into an existing mold or expectation. All right, let's now move on to your outcome card. And as we look at the outcome here, we have the Seven of Pentacles. I like to look at this as growth and movement and repair. Let's look at this side by side because it's a quite different illustration here from this. We'll start off with this Seven of Pentacles and then we'll kind of go back to this. So in the traditional Seven of Pentacles, we see a few key elements that actually are very much in alignment with today's reading. And that is healing, but patience. So it takes time for this bush to grow here. And what could have happened for this person is a loss of time or energy or attention, which means that, you know, they're comparing themselves maybe to the other figure in the Nine of Pentacles where she has everything she wants. He's thinking, why don't I? Or why did I waste time? Or why, you know, what else could I be doing? And basically this is saying just pay attention to what you can control, focus on what's in front of you. You're exactly where you need to be right now. And not only that, we see movement in this spread from this card, which is achieving balance, to this one, which is creating new levels of movement and growth. And then we see control and recognition and positivity here and visibility here. So it's all taking you in the right direction. I don't really read titles so much on the cards. This one is roughly based on a merging of Rider-Waite-Smith and Thoth. So this is more of a Thoth energy that I don't connect with a regular Seven of Pentacles. So what this can mean is rebounding on the experience of a setback or failure, but learning from it, because everything that precedes this card was about empowerment and learning. The things that you have to be kind of knowledgeable about with this is patience, presence of mind, and persistence. If you can do all of that, you can grow from the Seven of Pentacles to the Eight of Pentacles, which is also really good. That again is absorbing that message, all right? So don't overextend yourself. When it comes to money and when it comes to any situation, don't go too far, too fast. And as long as you do that, you're gonna be able to really kind of benefit from this. Now, if we just look at the bottom of this card, there's something really cool that this artist did, which was create these lines in the sand. So for many of you, there is an understanding that you can limit yourself by your own beliefs, saying, I only have been able to accomplish this. I never have luck with this. So be very mindful of those lines in the sand. Remember that they are just lines in the sand. You can clear them off and just see how far you're able to go, because the energy of the star is limitless. So let's not kind of put unnecessary limits on capabilities or possibilities. Let's let the universe come in and see just how far you can go. Let's now expand the forecast to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. We're going to start off with health, which is mind, body, and spirit. I look at energy here, so if there's anything going on with your mental or physical health, please work with an expert. All right, in the energy of health, we have a beautiful message. Come home to your body. This could mean for some of you just deciding to prioritize health. And each of you may have a different thing that you want to focus more on. Maybe it is, we look at the heart chakra there, it could be focusing a little bit more on aerobic exercise. It could be connecting with self-acceptance and love. This could also be meditating. We see someone in a pose that looks like yoga here. So whatever you want to do to celebrate your body, your mind, your body, and your spirit, that's really going to be important this month. All right, let's take a moment now just to look at the general layout of the cards to see if there's some other things to pay attention to. Again, slowing down is the main thing here. So if your schedule's been too crazy, or if you've been just focusing on too many things, as we talked about earlier, less is more, and really just being present. More time to meditate is key. The Hanged Man also shows increased sensitivity or vulnerability when it comes to ankles and feet. So making sure that you're wearing the proper footwear, making sure that when you are doing any physical activity that you're not stressing or straining that part of your body, that's going to be really important. Increased emotional sensitivity as well. That's why it's going to be important to have things like meditation and physical activity in your life, because it definitely helps balance everything out. Let's see what else we have here. Again, some of you might be recently starting a family, pregnant, or focusing on familial issues a little bit more, because the Empress can represent all of that. So make sure that you're taking care of yourself. She's the universal mother, but whenever I get Empress energy in a spread, it's also saying, where are you at? What are you doing to support yourself? Finally, with the Magician here in reverse, I think some of you may be having a hard time focusing. And it could be any number of things because of distractions in the environment, because of trying to prove, as we talked about earlier, prove to other people your capabilities by doing everything. Just pull back a little bit. Keep a little bit of energy saved up, and realize, again, it's not your job to have to constantly convince someone. And if that is existing in your life, it could be zapping your energy unnecessarily. So I just wanted to call attention to that one more time. Most importantly, focus on physical health. For each of you, there'll be a different way to make your body and your energy sort of more balanced. So find that happy medium for yourself. Let's transition into the energy of wealth. For wealth, we have the Shield Maiden. She came through in the reversed state, but let's read her upright so that we can get the message here. She says, make plans and focus. When I look at a Shield Maiden, it could either be the Queen of Swords or the Page of Swords in reverse. Both of them have very similar messages, which is get to the point in negotiations and communications. Also take some action in your life. I like that she wants you to be more precise and more focused. And I talked at great length about the importance of creating plans, because that can help you spread time, energy, and resources out in a way that is manageable. It can help you feel like you're in more control of your life. And overall, when we're looking at the energy of wealth, all of these things are important. Speak up if there's something that you need, because otherwise you're relying on, happenstance. So this is basically saying, I have a seat at the table because I matter, and I'm going to shine a light on something that maybe some other people don't want to. And in doing so, I'm probably going to be able to get what I want. I'm going to be able to see some movement because I was the voice of reason. So I like that. This is pretty empowered. Let's look at this in a couple of different perspectives. For those of you that are currently employed, we'll start with you. I love what I see here with Star, Three of Wands, Three of Pentacles. If you feel like you need more, whatever it is, better title, better money, more opportunities, now is the time to get that in writing. Making the plan, and we even see communication right above this. And this is a card of contracts. Get that in writing so that you can reflect and review and refer to that in the future. All right, so we like that. We have a power card, and we have a basically recognition card here. So it's a good moment for those of you, but it requires communication. Okay. The good news this month, again, because we had in the crowning position the Magician, we have the Empress, and we have the Three of Wands here on this diagonal. So this is crowning, this is near future, and this is environment. You can create something if it doesn't exist. So if you feel stuck, if you feel stunted, speak up, look for new opportunities, and look in directions you wouldn't normally. And by the way, people are also looking for you. So part of this is the internal sort of recognition. I'm ready, and I'm willing to put myself out there. If you do that, Magician and Star are pretty much unstoppable. This all comes to personal recognition and personal belief. Let's move on to those of you that might be students and trying to go in a different direction. I like what you're doing. I like that we see progression from 6 to 7 of Pentacles. I like that we see in the near future this feeling like because you've gone through this graduation here, you feel more worthy, you feel more powerful. A lot of times what's in here, what's in the gut, the power center, it projects out. And sometimes all we need is something written on a certificate to make us feel more worthy. So I'm going to say, yeah, it's worth the investment of time and energy because it sets you into a new trajectory. So students, this is good for if you believe in what you're doing, good. If you need to change majors or change course, I also see that that could be very beneficial. The main thing is you have to feel it, you have to believe it, and then everything comes into a nice sort of trajectory here. Don't be afraid to be seen. Don't be afraid to kind of put yourself out there because people need to be able to connect with you a little bit more. So it's kind of like it's easier to, for those of you that watch YouTube videos, isn't it cooler to be able to see videos with people's faces? Because you just are able to know where the voice is, where the energy is, and it makes it that much more personal. So for some of you, you're being asked to step out of the shadow and into the light so that your voice, your ideas, your energy can be better received. If you're retired, if you're not working right now, what we're seeing here is betterment, personal development. So we are constant students, basically, and you don't have to go to school to learn. So this might just be something that really brings you a sense of like you're itching that curiosity in your head. You're finding a way to scratch that curiosity, I should say. And so that's really cool. And we see teaching and mentorship here as well. And we see also a deepening of connection to spirit with both of these cards. Okay, so I like that quite a bit. Let's move on now to love and relationships. As we go to love and relationships, we have, of course, a reminder here that this touches all different facets from romantic to just everyday friends and family. What's the main message here? Communication. We have Mercury. And it says, get a weight off your chest. Speak up with love and be heard. You have a really good chance to make your message, or I should say, get your point across this month with all of these power cards. And I like that in the deep past we have emotion, passion, compassion. All of those things are going to serve you well. As you know, if you've watched my videos, I like to look at 3 different facets of relationships. For those of you in a relationship looking for love or happily single. If you're in a relationship, we're going to start off with you right now. Again, obviously communication is key. Let's see what needs to be talked about, what's coming through. So some of you may just feel like the relationship has come to a pause right now. The Hanged Man means that you don't feel like you're growing, or maybe there's a little bit of I talked about this in Aquarius, there could be a path where the two of you are kind of drawn in different directions. Slow down, talk about it a little bit, be very honest with one another. There could also be a desire for personal development or maybe for starting a family, because the Empress can represent both. Talk about that. We see education, work, and money for sure coming through. We have a lot of financial cards, 6 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles. The good news is these 2 cards are very positive. So this is about empowerment. This is moving in a better direction. So as long as you're open and communicate about it, I think you're going to be okay. One of the partners could be entering into this sort of meteoric rise. So that means that after a long period of waiting, something's finally taking off. This is exciting. It could mean external validation and recognition. It could also mean travel. This could present some challenges for the two of you because there could be a distance component to the relationship that didn't exist there before. So just open communication about fears and anxiety over that. And then also just our own shadow energy. When it's not sort of you in the spotlight, sometimes that can make you wonder, like, when is it my turn? Or vice versa, the partner might be having a difficult time if you're on the rise. So just understanding that these are normal human emotions, and by just being there for each other, you're going to be able to navigate it. Should be all right. I don't see anything overly overwhelming coming through here. So if your relationship feels solid, I see that too. Slow down and make time for each other. That's the main piece of advice. For those of you that are navigating out of a relationship, I still see really positive energy here. It's all about communication, and that's the key to success this month. If you are looking for love, then yeah, you can find it. We have manifestation right here at the top of the spread. We have you being very visible, very alluring. This is one of the magnet cards, just as good as having the lovers, because people are taking note of you. The main thing is to put yourself out there. This would be basically work spheres or social spheres. And this is also basically making sure that you do what you want to do because people are drawn to the work that you're doing. I think the main thing that we want to focus on for those of you that are single is basically overcoming the shadow energy, which we saw a little bit of in the Seven of Pentacles with the limits that you might put on your own capacity or capabilities. And this comes a lot of times with the way that we talk about our status in a relationship. So you might say, oh, I've been single forever. Maybe it's just not going to happen. Or I don't have good luck with this or with that. Don't say that this month. Instead, flip the script. I talked about that with Aquarius. And instead sort of state this. You could say, I am ready to create change. I'm open to love and abundance in the highest forms. I am worthy. I am ready. I am also present and able to make it work. So just state the change in your energy. And if you do that, great things will happen. If you're already if you're with me on this, let me talk about who you might be pulling in. A really powerful energy. The Empress is someone, and the Star, they're evenly met. Basically, they're both major arcana energies. So we have someone here who likes to have their own way. We have someone here who is very comfortable with their own power. But with the card in reverse, these two people both like to kind of be the center of attention. So you may be pulling in someone as strong, if not stronger than you. And the only challenge might be in sort of like, who's the boss, basically. So that being said, this can also represent karmic energies, just like Judgment card can. And if we look at the karma of the past, it's actually pretty good. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of baggage. The things that could be holding you back from being able to manage a relationship, there's just a lot on your plate. You're focusing a lot on personal development and financial stability. So once those things are under control, then things start to really fall into focus here. In both existing and new relationships, chemistry is key. Make sure in existing relationships, you're fanning the flames of passion. And in new relationships, you either feel it or you don't. If you don't feel it, don't force it, because with this kind of energy and this kind of energy and this, you should be able to feel that at the beginning, okay? So that's my last piece of advice for those that are looking. If you are single and happy, the one thing that you can really focus on this month is getting your finances in order, getting your schedule balanced, not just your budget, but your schedule. And then focusing on, I feel like many of you might be going a little deeper in your intuitive practice, because Star and Magician energy are connection to source. This yoga energy that I'm picking up on could be a way to get there if you're looking at that in your the health card that we got. And also, maybe some of you are focusing on writing and journaling, and maybe you're into public speaking. If you want to do that this month, people are drawn to you. So I see a very attractive energy, but it's mostly in business, personal development, and intuitive development. Let's move on to your destiny card. We have the Nightingale here. The card is reversed, but let's look at it in the upright position. I've used nightingales before as a totem, and I believe that they have a really big repertoire of songs, like 1,000 or something. And so what you have the ability to do this month is, first of all, show your flexibility and your versatility, and also reach a really large audience here because of the ability to kind of like get that message out there in different ways. Use your own voice. Use a message and a tone that is authentic to you. And remember this month that you have a lot of power cards reversed, which means that if you believe in yourself and move beyond self-doubt, that they're all positive. So let's just turn them upright and see what it would be. This would be the ability to manifest quicker than you think. This would be the ability to be seen and recognized for the star that you are. This again is a card of manifestation and receiving things that you want faster than you think. This is being recognized. It's learning things, and it's mastering what you've set out to, again, learn and understand. So we have manifestation, attention, and now we have the ability to communicate effectively. So it's a good month. There's just a little hesitation or doubt, but when you can move beyond that hesitation or doubt, then the sky is the limit, or in this case, the star is the limit. So keep on reaching, keep on manifesting, and remember this month to make a splash, Pisces. I want you to embrace, being heard, being seen, being you. And this is one safe space where the authentic you is always welcome. Let's go ahead now and take a look at sun, rising, and moon messages to give you just a little bit more clarity in those different parts of this chart. And let's see what's going on here. All right. Sun, rising, and moon. We have a very playful Seven of Cups illustrated here. So for some of you, there could be distraction in your social sphere. A lot of invitations, a lot of friends, family, or love interests in your life that are kind of taking up time and energy. The traditional illustration will help explain what this card is about. It's about focus. So for some of you, there's just a lot of fun things taking you out of your focus. So that's one thing to be mindful of. Now, for the rest of you, this card is very helpful in understanding what's in front of you. And that is the opportunity to daydream, to come upon new ideas and opportunities. But there is a question, what do you want? The Seven of Cups always is waiting for you to sort of set the stage. The Empress card came through in the near future, which is basically you voicing your opinion. Same thing with the Nightingale. And I mean, basically you have so many communication cards, the Shield Maiden, Mercury. So time and again, they're all coming through saying, speak your intention, say what's on your mind, and let people know what your decision is. I'm all for having fun, but don't let that come between you and progress or you and doing what you said you were going to do, okay? So that's basically what I wanted to kind of like clarify with that. But overall, opportunities are presenting themselves. You just need to focus this month, and that's going to help you out. As we move into the Rising and Ascendant, we have the Ten of Swords card coming through, and this is a reminder to take care of yourself. If you're burning the candle at both ends, now is the time to stop doing that. And I always like to show alternate Ten of Swords. One is this particular deck, the Tarot of the Abyss, I think. And what we see here is that through difficult experiences comes wisdom. This old man looking at those painful experiences from the past with a sense of appreciation because he won't have to repeat them. Possibly my favorite card with Ten of Swords is this one from Lightseer's deck, which basically shows that because she's been through something before, she can see the pattern before it happens, and she just walks a different path. Those birds can represent the swords, and they're squawking at her, and she's like, I'm not bothered. I've been there before. I know where that road leads. I don't need to repeat it. So look at those different outlooks on the Ten of Swords and embrace the sense that any difficulty you experience makes you stronger and wiser. That wisdom can help you avoid it in the future, perhaps even in the present. And the other thing here is just to take care of yourself. You're watching this in advance of it happening, which means that you're not going to burn the candle at both ends. You're going to avoid saying something that could come back and haunt you. So it's really about picking and choosing your words, being mindful of your actions, and learning from the past. If you can do that, you can successfully navigate Ten of Swords energy. So I always like to show the full picture of that. As we take a look at the moon sign, I love what we see here, the Eight of Pentacles. This, for many of you, can represent going back to school, learning new things, expanding your skills and knowledge. It also is really looking at the fine print and understanding where you stand with finances, with personal development. Across the board, it's just a really strong card. You're just one step away from independence, which is the Nine of Pentacles as well. This is also about putting things into writing. So if you are creative or if you're just trying to kind of get a feel for what's next in your life, planning it out, as we saw here with the Shield Maiden, is going to be really, really helpful. Put it into writing because when you think it, speak it, and write it, you're actually creating this energy of reality. You're bringing and breathing life into it. So that's a key to success here. If you can also like pitch an idea, this is part of proposals, right? Put it into writing and then send it to someone. That can also bring you one step closer to creating something special in your life, breathing, again, something into existence or into fruition. That brings us to the final question for today. A quick reminder, if you want to do the meditation, it's a standalone video this month, so take a look in the description or the comments below and you'll be able to watch that. Now I'd like you to focus on any question that I have yet to answer. You can see all of the cards here in front of you. So if there's something you want more clarity on, you can meditate on that now. If there's something that you want to ask that's not related to this, go ahead and focus on it. And I'm going to shuffle the cards and see what Spirit has to say. We have a lovely card coming through with respect to that final question, and it's the Three of Cups. Yes, it's reversed, but it's still a card of celebration, joy, and receptivity. So if it were in the upright position, I would say there's a party or a celebration on the horizon. There could be someone coming into your life. With the card reversed, there could be hesitation or a little bit of pulling back from you. So what's going on here? Well, what I would say with the Three of Cups in reverse is some of you just need a little bit of time for self-care. There could be too many invitations, too many things going on, and you're thinking to yourself, I just need one night off. I fully support that. I will say, however, after you get that chance to reset, this is an unlikely social butterfly. Even if you're kind of normally the type that would hermit, once you get out in the public, the card quickly turns around and you have this ability to then lean into the star energy that we also saw earlier. People really are paying attention to you. There could just be this sense of wondering, like, why me, why now? Why not is what I would ask as well. So allow yourself to be seen, to be heard, to go out there. You could make a really great connection. It's not always just love. This could be a new friend. This could be a business colleague or someone who could just open up a door that you didn't know existed. So why not? When it comes to relationships, this can also represent needing to pull back from people that cause interference. Sometimes that's a parent-in-law or some sort of in-law in a marriage. It could also be a friend or someone else who tries to insert themselves in a core relationship. So keep your boundaries. And in the case of this illustration, what we saw her doing can actually be quite effective. Show people when, where, and if they should show up, and really hold firm to those boundaries. All right, folks, that brings this reading to a close. If you enjoyed it, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, and if you've never subscribed, consider doing that. It helps the channel grow, it helps other people find this video, and it means a lot to me as well. Also, do me a favor and leave a comment below. You know, there's a lot of energy around making a splash this month, so maybe put an image of water or the ocean and let me know where you're going to kind of let your true colors shine and make a splash. If you'd like to make sure that you never miss a future video, give me a follow on social media. It's always my full name on major platforms. You can always go to my website if you need the official links. Here's a link to my website. And additionally, if you want to give back in a different way, you can always do a super sticker, super chat, super thanks, or membership. Another great way to say thank you and make sure that I have enough resources to continue to produce videos. So thank you in advance for all of you that have done that. I really do appreciate it. I'd like to also remind you that I don't give private readings. I get that question a lot. There's a lot of imposters out there. So if anyone offers one, you know it's not me. You can block them and you can report them. Thank you so much, everybody, for showing up today. You have a lot of choices here on YouTube. I appreciate you, and I appreciate that you chose to spend time with me today. Just a reminder, I have daily videos, so if you ever just feel like you need something for today, click on the Shorts tab and you'll see a daily video there. If you ever need to look at a monthly or a weekly video, you can go to my main YouTube channel page and find all of the information there. All right, everyone, take care of yourself. Have a great day and a great month ahead. And again, thanks for being here today.